Hey y'all, how you doing? Well, I've read your comments and everybody keeps saying, I love your voice, I love hearing you talk, make more videos. And so I finally decided to sit down and make the time to make a video. And I've been trying to think of what can I share with you? What can I share with you? Because I feel like anybody can come on here and like show you a spell or whatever. I want to peel back some layers and get behind, the spell casting and what goes on psychologically, and how to help build up your mind power to better make use of all these, you know, theatrics and props that we use, like doll babies and mojo bags and candles and whatnot. So today I want to talk to you about the power of belief. And I'm going to share a story. I'm taking my glasses off because the glare is bothering me. I'm going to share a story. I'm going to go back about 30 years. Picture it. South Carolina, 1990 something. Oh, I guess I should say I'm filming this on 7:15 p.m. on July the 4th. You just heard a boom. People are shooting fireworks. So if you hear that, that's what it is. I can't do nothing about that. Anyway, picture it. South Carolina, 1993, I guess. I was working in the cotton mills back home in South Carolina. If you ever gone to Walmart or some of these other places and you've seen those quilts and pillowcases and sheets with Spring Made written on them, that's the cotton mills I was working with. I did not work for Springs. I worked for a company called Defender Services, which was a subcontracted labor. Basically, we were called the cleanup crew that worked alongside the Springs employees. I did a little bit of everything. I was a sweeper in the weave room, a sweeper in the spinning room, the card room. I was an overhead cleaner. I did a little bit of janitorial, other things like that. And what a lot of people don't realize back then was the cleanup crew that I worked on, we were often seen as less than. I'll give you some examples how we were treated differently. I remember the air went out one summer, and so the Springs managers, they went and got some cold bottled water and handed it out to all the Springs people, but didn't give any to us Defender people. I remember at Christmas, one guy dressed up as Santa Claus and went around and gave out candy and things to all the Springs people, but ignored us Defender people. So there was some animosity on the part of the Springs people toward the Defender people. Some of that came from the fact that even though we were doing a necessary job, it did sometimes interfere with their work. For example, me as an overhead cleaner, I had this long pipe about the size of a cane fishing pole, and had a little piece of plastic on the end of it that when I hooked it into the air, it would flap like this really fast. And I would go up and down the room like this, and I was blowing cotton dust off the ceilings and from around the sprinkler heads. And that dust would fall down, and sometimes it would fall on the weaving machines, and it would stop them. And so the weaver would have to come over and pick the cotton off of it or what have you, and restart it. And that would interfere with their production that had to do with their income. So again, we were doing a necessary job, but it did interfere and it did create animosity between some of the Springs people and some of the Defender people. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, I was about 20 years old. I had come out to my family. I was trying to live a more authentic life. I hated my job, which everybody hates their job for the most part, or everybody at one point in time hated it. I hated the job because I had all this animosity being directed at me, not only because I worked on the cleanup crew, but because I was perceived as gay, which I was, and because I was perceived as gay, I was perceived as weak. So when I was doing my job, a Springs person would I'd be walking down an aisle cleaning, someone would step on the hose with that the air ran through. It was kind of like a like a garden hose, but only air came through it instead of water. And it would jerk me back, or sometimes they would unplug it, sort of like, when your mom was vacuuming and you unplug the thing. It was, little things like that. And there were threats made against me sometimes too. I remember going into a room where I had to tag out a machine that I had to climb up on to clean it, because you lock it out so that someone doesn't start the machine up while you're on it and you get hurt or whatever. And I walked into this room and there was cotton dust all over the machines and things in this room, but someone had went and wrote the words queer and faggot and what have you in that, and it was directed at me. And so, generally speaking, I had come out of the closet, I had a job, I was living on my own, I was still trying to figure out who I was studying and practicing witchcraft, finding my way, but I was not happy with my life. I was not happy, and I didn't feel like I wanted to live. I wanted to live on one point. On the other hand, I did not want to live anymore. And it had to be in August or early September, because my birthday is in mid-September. And I was honestly contemplating suicide. And like I said, I was ambiguous. On one hand, I wanted to die. I wanted to end it. On the other hand, I wanted to live. And so I just got it in my head that if I can stay alive until my birthday, everything would be okay. Belief number one. And so I had been reading some books. I was always been a voracious reader. And when I was really younger, I really liked vampire stories. In high school, Anne Rice was very big. Everybody wanted to read about Lestat and I can't remember his name. The Brad Pitt character in the movie. I forget his name. I'm sure someone will tell me. But all those books, I had read them, and I'd really got interested in vampires. And at one point, I had read about Elizabeth Bathory. Now, some of you may have heard of Elizabeth Bathory. She was a real woman, a historical figure. A lot of stories have arisen about her. They made a movie about her one movie that I know of, called Countess Dracula. And she is famous for having kidnapped and killed and bathed in the blood of virgins, because she believed it kept her young. And I remember in this one particular book, I don't remember the name of the book, I don't remember the author, don't ask me, I don't know. But in this book, it had said there was someone in her court or someone in her vicinity, in her sphere, that practiced magic. I want to say it was a woman. I'm not sure. And this woman wrote a spell to protect Elizabeth Bathory, either from her enemies, from being found out, whatever. And in the book I read, they shared an example of the spell. And the spell took the form of probably what we would call a gree-gree bag, a mojo bag, or a talisman bag, or a hex bag today, or a bundle. I often call little bags bundles, because when they're not a mojo, I like to say bundle, because mojo is hoodoo, a bundle is more folk magic. Anyway, it was this little bundle, and it was basically an incantation or a prayer that was written on paper, and it was rolled up into a scroll and tied. I want to say it was put in a little leather bag, and I think Elizabeth tucked it between her titties, And so, inspired by that, I just got it in my head that I could create a bundle to protect me until my birthday, and then I could live. So I sat down and I wrote the incantation from the book. I changed some words around to fit me. And I didn't know exactly what I was doing. Obviously I wasn't in my perfect state of mind if I was contemplating suicide. But I remember putting some of my blood on the center of the paper, and I put it in a little baggie, something like this, and I took some of my hair and my fingernails and put in the little baggie, and I prayed over it, and I just said, protect me and keep me safe, keep the evil intentions of other people away from me. Just give me strength to get through these next number of weeks until my birthday, and then I can grow and thrive and, enjoy all the goodness that life has to offer. And so I put that little baggie together. I'd put it under my pillow when I was sleeping, and during the day, I'd carry it in my pocket. And I remember walking to the weave room and just seeing people look at me, oh, here he comes with that pole. He's getting ready to blow cotton every damn where. And I could just feel the negativity being directed to me. And I would just reach in my pocket and squeeze that goddamn bag for all it was worth. And I would just say, just keep me safe until my birthday. Well, obviously, my birthday came and went, and I did not kill myself. But the point of my story is, I don't know if there was a lot of magic in that little bundle or not, but there was a lot of belief up here. I put a lot of faith in that little baggie, and I drew strength from that faith, and my belief manifested. And the lesson that I took from that, which I want to share with you today, is believe in yourself and believe in your magic. I want you to get into the mindset, the mental habit of anytime you cast a spell, whether it's a candle or work with a doll or say a mantra or an affirmation, whatever it is, whatever magical thing that you do, I want you to adopt the mindset that I want you to assume that your spell has worked. And I want you to believe that it's worked. Just assume. Don't have any doubt in your mind. Don't question signs and stuff. If you believe your spell has worked, if you assume that it has worked, you don't really need to look for signs. Because you don't, when you get in your car every day and you go to work, to a place that you go every day, you don't need to look for street signs because you know where you're going. So just adopt that mindset, and you will, when you adopt that mindset and you assume that your spells have worked, you'll see them. The more you do it, the more you get into practice of it, the more you train your mind to believe in yourself and believe in your magic, you'll see your intentions manifest more often and quicker. Because I can tell you that from personal experience, the more you practice magic, the less you have to. The more you practice magic, the less you have to. I can't tell you the number of times something has happened in my life and I'd go, oh, you know what? I'm going to do X spell about that. I have a spell exactly for this situation. And before I can get home, before I can gather my supplies and do anything, it resolved itself. It's taken care of. Or I'm getting older now. I may want to do a spell for something. I go to work. I have a hard day. I'm tired. Yes, in the morning, I have more energy than I do at night. So I may have intended in the morning to do a spell or ritual for something in the afternoon. But by the time I got home, I was depleted. And I just said, I'm not going to worry with it. And then boom, it took care of itself. Anyway, you guys asked me to make a video. This is a video. I hope you enjoyed it. Just remember, believe in yourself. You know why? Because I do. Until next time.